Some things of substance, Allie, they could come up with to say, well, yes, they do. I would, by all means necessary, tell you, go ahead and vote them a second time around. But if the answer, you cannot get 4 things, I would ask you to vote based on your conscience. This is an election that we have to understand. Our children, you notice the government have not made a budget before an election. It means if you put these people back in office, when the election is finished, they're going to jam you so hard, you're going to feel it up in your stomach and even in your brain and even through your ears. You're going to feel that jamming so hard, you will have to, you will cry. You will cry.
Mama Coco, people saying, where we going? They want 45 more minutes. Well, they easy, we trying to get off. We don't want to keep you all too long and you all saying, where we going?
Mama Coco, before I get Ali, let me get one more thought I had in my head, right? So yes. I was reading the papers on last night and I saw the candidate for Tobago, the political leader for Tobago, Watson Duke. And he said that Tobago will be a deciding factor in this election. And any side would need him to make them become the prime minister, right? And I sat down and I thought of it. No sides is going to give up, if even they would give up at anything. But you know something come to my mind? I lay on my bed and I saw 2 positions that the Tobago should take. And they should bargain for. Take the Ministry of Works and fix every road in Tobago. And take the Ministry of Tourism and fix everything that you need to fix in Tobago in terms of tourism. Those 2 ministries are powerful ministries. Those 2 ministries have money. So you say that when Kamala was in office, she gave the black people in them offices, but she gave them no money to roll. She gave Jack Warner Ministry of Works. Jack Warner fixed bridges. When you come from the airport long time, the road was a narrow to airport, narrow to road. Now it's a big wide road. It's a big thing. So if you really want to function, Duke, I want you to win the both seats in Tobago. I am boosting. I want you to beat them, as they say in the left, in the right, in the center, anyhow you can beat them. Beat them upside down. If you happen to become the deciding factor in this election, I can tell if I was the leader, I would not give you the prime ministership. Neither would Rowdy, neither would Kamala. But what you can bargain for is a 2 powerful ministry for Tobago. Ministry of Works, I would have fixed every highway, every pothole, every drain in Tobago. I would have make sure to take Ministry of Tourism. I would have built the hub and make Tobago be the tourist attraction of the Caribbean. What do you think, Mama Coco?
Well, look at that. Look at that. Look at that referendum and look at that. Look at that agenda. We're going for things. Because if we have Brother Dexter, who was in politics in Trinidad, you guys don't watch him simply, you know. He could tell you guys what he did in Trinidad before he leave and come to the United States of America. So let me hear what our sister here have to say concerning Watson Duke. For Tobago.
I am rooting for Watson Duke 100%. I love what he has to say. I love his plans. I love the spirit that he and Tashia bring to this race. They're showing how things can be done. You know, politicians, the government makes everything about, we don't have no money. And Duke is showing how, without even having the clout of money, how much he can do. And if he is given that opportunity to represent Trinidad, Tobago in Trinidad in Parliament, how much more he can do. And I think most politicians need to be held to that standard. We need to see your public service record. We don't need you to pull somebody off the drain, and because there's your little brother, man, sister, cousin, friend, all of a sudden you make them a parliamentarian. We need to see people with public service record. We want to know, based on your record, what you will bring to the table. So I believe that the PDP is what is needed in Tobago right now. And from what I am seeing, all my friends and we are rooting. Hi, Diana. We are rooting for PDP, massively. I want a PDP jersey, and I all the way here in New York. Mr. Duke, a jersey over this way, please. Put it on my visa. I really believe in that party. I love that, They are people for the people. That is what I get from that party. People for the people. As far as Trinidad is concerned now, I want to ask the people who are diehard Red fans, right? And the reason why we stick on PNM, because they are the government in power right now, and we have to judge them on performance, and PNM has not performed. PNM and UNC for the same time in government, right? PNM has spent more money than the UNC, and they have produced less. It is not my belief, it is a fact. When we deal with facts, you put aside your emotions, you put aside your biases. PNM has not done half as much as the UNC has done in power with all the balling that Kamala teeth. Today, under the PNM, someone going in the grocery with a $500 gets less food items on their list, because when Kamala took off VAT off of 7,000 food items, once Rowley them got into power, he put it back on. So your money is not going further. You know how much people don't know that, Mama Coco?
Tell them.
Right? You know how much people don't know that? This is why when you go in the grocery, and you can get sugar, flour, butter, oil, rice, margarine, this, that, and the other. Now you can only get 4 things when before you was getting 7, because there was VAT. There was no VAT on a lot of the food items. Now you have to pay VAT on everything. And you know, it's sad because everything.
But he's saying that he
reduced VAT.
He reduced VAT.
Mama Coco, leave my VAT at 15% as opposed to taking it down to 12. If I am going to pay
more for
15%
food
on 5 things as opposed to paying 13% on everything. What he playing smart to stupidness. But you see, it's sad when your political leader thinks you're so stupid, and you act stupid because you regurgitate the nonsense he says and it's working against you. So like I said before, perhaps people have this affinity for catching the backside. Some people feel like, you know, if I suffer here when I get into heaven, I'll live better. But I want to live as good as Rowley living here. If he's suffering, then I'll suffer. But if he could live good, and every minute he jumping on a plane to go to America when he feeling sick, but yet he's turning around and saying that Trinidad and Tobago has first world-class health care. I want to go on a plane too. I want to go on a plane too. And everything that he has done is to jeopardize Trinidad and Tobago's position with their main exchange partner, which is America. We get 70% of our food from America. So we cannot say to hell what's with America. We have to toe the line. We have to toe the line. And he has put us in the line of fire with all his nefarious activity with Venezuela. So I am asking people, when you think about voting, and it is your right to vote, I hope you do go out and vote. You need to ask yourself a few questions. Number 1, has my life improved under the Rowley administration? 2,
for the past 5 years. For the past 5 years.
When Mama Coco, Rowley, I mean, you only have 5, eh? 2, does my dollar go further under the Rowley administration? Were you able to buy more under the Kamala administration? Or are you able to buy more under the Rowley administration? Number 3, has this government improved anything for education in this country? Is my child benefiting from the educational system more than it did before? What improvements have they made? Because you can't tell me that you come in and things are a certain way and you just leave it. You don't add to it. You don't improve it. 4, if today or tomorrow something happened, and something did happen, COVID happened, does the government of Trinidad and Tobago have a safety net to catch me? And the answer is no. People have been failed. We have people who have been hungry. Parents had to send the children under mango trees to suck mango and pick coconut to drink, because there was no hamper and there was no COVID relief. Landlords who were fed up of waiting for COVID rental assistance turn around and they evicted tenants. So we have to be real when we decide to vote. Forget about the jersey. Forget about who does have the best artists for the after Bram Jam. Forget about whose song is the hottest and how low you could go. Talk and vote on the issues, because your life depends on it. Another 5 years of this PNM rule, what is going to happen? We have people that is coming through the borders. The borders are not closed, only the airports. The borders are wide open, like a prostitute leg on Charlotte Street, wide open for business. Everybody coming in on the pirogue. What are they doing? When they brought the Venezuelans, they started off with this thing. We're going to give them 6 months. But I knew nowhere gives somebody 6 months and they don't have another 6 months coming. That was just a ploy.
6 months, 6 months, and the country that they came from ain't change.
It ain't change. It is not going to change. So you give them they give them 6 months to make you comfortable, but they knew that they were going to keep renewing these work passes. So here we have a small pot like this, and you bring people in to eat all that small pot, so the pot gets smaller. And we want to know why there's crime, because opportunities are vanishing. Opportunities are vanishing. And
so you were saying earlier about opportunities. So you think that business people would rather hire a Venezuelan than hire somebody from Laventille?
Mama Coco right now is all about economics. Yes. The Venezuelans, as you know, any immigrant that goes to another country is willing to work for less than the going rate. And Venezuelans are able to go into the grocery, because let me tell you, it's 5 and 10 of them living in one place, you know. So imagine
you are Venezuelan yourself. You were born in Venezuela.
I was born in Venezuela. Yeah. Oh, Mama Coco, you must say that again. I am a born Venezuelan. I'm a Trinidadian by descent, and I'm an American by naturalization. So I have 3 citizenships. So when I want to have one more. Anybody on the life want to give me one more? We am I? So I'm an international woman. So when I speak on Venezuela, I'm not speaking from a place of hate. I understand that my people are going through something that they need to, find a place to better themselves, but at the risk of putting Trinbagonians. Why? We can't do that. You can help, but don't hurt your country. And this is our leadership is not thinking about Trinidad and Tobago. So we have a whole lot of illegal immigration. They're not coming illegally, they're just pulling up and see just in the pirogue with COVID. Nobody's checking them. And they're just going into this little island, that little hovel and that little hovel. And the police are complicit. A CARICOM report was released showing that officers from the Trinidad and Tobago police force are complicit in human trafficking. They are using these women for prostitution. So who guarding the guards? Who guarding the guards? So you're using people who are already destitute and desperate for prostitution. I mean, Trinidad going to hell in a handbasket. There is no accountability. There's no transparency. Who do you trust? And people leaping from party to party, one at a political orgy, and then this one by talking that one, but tomorrow there's best friend and besties. Come on, Trinidad and Tobago, time to wake up. We have 18 parties. Red and yellow don't have to be it for you. But what I am saying is do not blind vote. Do not vote blindly. Do not vote along tribal lines. Think about your future. Think about policies. Think about your children and think about your pockets.
Leave race out of the polling booth.
Totally.
Don't short sell. Yes, don't short sell yourself.
Yes. No, the short changing ain't go work. And a lot of parties just around to split up the bloody votes. They know they ain't doing anything. Get out! Cut it out! Leave the country to run. Everybody looking for power. They're not thinking about the people.
We need people.
They're not thinking about the people. Look what's happening there in San Fernando East. I will always go back there.
Mama Coco.
We're just using the people. I can't see how love could twist. Because we believe in forgiveness. Forgive what?
Oh, forget what?
Forget what?
Time to wake up. Time to shake up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize that you guys already had your closing statements. But anything you have to say it now or forever hold your peace.
I would say, go ahead, Dexter.
Go on, Allie.
Go on here. I would like to thank everyone that tuned in and contributed. This discussion was so lively. We didn't get to read everything, but I see that in the chat people were having discussions among themselves. And this is why I keep saying I love Mama Coco show. This show is it is concurrent, right? This is contemporaries about what's going on now. And Mama Coco just brings it real. We we need a platform like this because on government run television, you don't get to say what needs to be said. People are being muzzled, and
Censored.
anywhere, right, censored and muzzled. So anywhere that is happening, the truth has to lay low. I would just like people to understand that voting is more than just a fact. This is not a fact. This is about deciding where your country is going, where the resources of your country is going, who is going to manage it, can they manage it? And let us stop voting because we are custom voting. So my granny tell me that, or this one does have a best fit. Let's put this eater food mentality to the side. We need to sit down, and we're in 2020.
Ooh, somebody saying something to you there, Allie.
The police and the Coast Guard are complicit in the activity. Lizzie, you are 100% correct. Everybody knows that. Ask anyone who lives along in the fishing areas in Trinidad and Tobago, and they will tell you that they're seeing officials, government officials, picking up these people and doing these different kind of things. This is an open secret. So every time, these things come to the light and I hear one of the officials jump up and say, oh, it's under investigation, I just laugh. Everybody know everybody business in Trinidad and Tobago, correct? Okay. Everybody know everybody business. So knowing what we know and knowing that everybody knows, what are we going to do? Who are we going to put there who is going to work for us? Alan said that's why he keeps the borders closed so people like you guys cannot come in. Alan, they don't want me to come in, Of
Neither
course,
me.
you're right. And
Neither
says
Dexter.
No, the three of us be banned. As always, very interesting conversation tonight. Anne-Marie Ahmad says that. It's true, guys. Just please vote on policy, vote on facts. Please don't walk around and ball out what you've been hearing. Do some research. That's why you have Google. Google is not just for Facebook to do selfies and go on TikTok and do a before and after video. Use it for research. Please go out there, and when these people come to your house, ask them the hard questions. Ask them, what will you do for me? What do you know is going on in my area? Because some of them, first time they ever walk your area, they're taking people from Toco and putting them in San Fernando. They knows nothing about the area. They knows nothing about the constituency. Ask them where they live in. Ask them if
because the people at Point Fontaine, they have the same problems up to this day that they had donkey years ago, The same problems.
Mama Coco from outside.
So, what you want to close with to tell the young people of Trinidad and the young people of Laventille that we are there for them and we are going to speak up about their plight and their fight until everything gets right?
I want all the youths across Trinidad and Tobago, but especially in the places that they call the hotspots. I want you guys to understand something. You are not alone. There are people who are seeing what is going on, and we will be your voice when you cannot speak. We have been seeing the videos that you guys have been posting. We have seen the police going in there and doing their own thing, and thank God for videos that there now can be something called an investigation, although we know that's dubious. But we see that Laventille is not what they say Laventille is. We will speak for you. And you know what? Have no fear. You have people on the ground in Trinidad that are speaking up for them, Mama Coco. We have Rankin Station. These gentlemen are doing a wonderful job because they're from Laventille themselves. They're exposing the things that are going on in Laventille, and we want the youth to know, do not give up hope. You are the future, but we need you to go out and vote. Do not say you're not involved in politics and you don't believe in politics. Everything is political. That is the first thing I learned when I went into undergrad school. And when I learned that, Mama Coco, it changed my life. Politics determines how much you pay for toothpaste. It determines the color of the
politics
tube.
in everything.
And I think if I could admonish people to understand anything, I want them to understand that everything is political. Politics is in everything. Get political.
Church, your death, your life.
Everything.
In life, in death, church.
Everything.
So, Brother Dexter, what can you say now? You will have your own statement, but what can you say to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago so that they will know that the same finger that they use, hey, you shabo shaker, the same finger that they're using to pull a trigger is the same finger that they have to use To what?
The
vote.
finger vote.
So how are we taking that? Just like the same trigger finger is the finger that will determine whether you are voting for your oppressor or you are voting for your deliverer.
Amen. Yeah.
So what I would actually say to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and more so even to the world, because every nation has voting going on. What I believe is that we should first, as Allie said, get a to-do list and write down, because sometimes I believe when you write the vision, God told the children of Israel, he said to write the vision upon the wall, look at the vision on the wall, for the vision shall tarry. So what I normally do,
I was saying the vision is not for today, it's for the future. Write it down.
It shall, yes, write it upon the wall, right?
Yes.
Even Moses told the children in the book of Deuteronomy, he said, write an inscription upon the wall. He was telling the mothers and the fathers, he said, write an inscription upon the walls for the children, for a future generation.
That's right.
I'm going to say on this night, I would ask all of Trinidad and Tobago to get a paper and draw a line. We have two major contenders in this election, and we have several other small parties. Begin to map, because the children of Israel had to spiritually map the destination when they was living in Israel, right? So sometimes you have to spiritually map what you are doing, and you have to socially map what you are doing, and you have to emotionally map what you are doing. You have to psychologically map what you are doing. Map out what each parties have to offer. Then begin to ask yourself, and I love that question that Basde Pandey would have bring out in 1995. Ask yourself if you are better off than you were 5 years ago. Ask yourself that you have elected. Ask yourself, I have been elected. When I look at the people of Faizabad, Mama Coco, they have never voted against the PNM until 1986 when they voted the NAR. All right?
Give me 1 minute. I'm taking off my headset. You know why? The phone losing charge, and it's the same kind of insertion that the headset have. Yeah. So let's go, people. Yes.
So when you look at Faizabad, Allie, right? Those people is just a San Fernando West, San Fernando East, and Laventille. They have only voted against the PNM one time. I want to ask those people, you have pitch you have the lake of pitch, you wonder of one of the 7 wonders of the world in your constituency, and yet you have bad roads. I want to ask the people of Laventille and the people of Laventille West and Belmont and Diego Martin and all these places, that you have been voting the same rhetoric. You have been voting the same trickle down, water down, wish-wash politics for more than 56 years. Ask yourself, is it not time that we take control of our governance? Is it not time that we put people in governance who would work for us? Ask yourself, where do you want your children to go? Because you and I could soon pass out. But when we die, we must leave a legacy for our children. The Bible says a good man will leave an inheritance for his son. Right? We need to leave an inheritance for our children. And what is a good legacy? Putting somebody who would govern our country. And I am not saying that we should stick to one person. If you vote Kamala Persad-Bissessar and you give her a second time in office, and she failed to deliver, you have the same power to put her out. If you give the PPP the chance, or the PDP the same chance, or you give Nikolai Edwards the same chance, Jack Warner the same chances, give them an opportunity. You could never know. Mama Coco, you cannot know what I can do for you unless you give me the opportunity to work for you. And I will tell people that it's time for new leader, it's time for new vision, and it's time for new direction. I love you, Trinidad and Tobago. I love you, viewing audience, but we must ask ourselves these hard, tough questions. what do we want for our children, and the people that we have in governance for us, or the people who would represent us in the next 5 years, what would they do for us? Before you elect them, check their banking account. These are things that should be up to the forefront. You should have the integrity of commission, declare all assets before you get into office. These are things that we should do. But
I love that one, amen.
But we don't want. But we will vote anything, and we will vote if the PNM put a rat, we go for it. The UNC put a dog, we go for it. When you are going, we should have constitutional reform. And why we need constitutional reform, Mama Coco? Because when you have this constitutional reform, you will set standards, and you will set standards that you will set. Okay, you are going up election. Dexter, what is your asset? You declare your asset. So when these bastards get into office, they can by next week have 100,000 and 300,000 and trillions of dollars. And also ask us, Kamala Prasad, if you should win governance, you should return to government. Stop taking helicopter and traveling from Port of Spain to San Fernando. Stay in the Prime Minister residence where the people put you to live, in the people's house. Because that is taxpayers' money you are running down when you are running from the parliament to your house back and forth. These are the things we need to set in orders. We need to tell these elected officials that when they get in there, declare your asset. They can't do that. They and Trump will be very good, because when you ask them to declare the asset, they can't declare it. We need a declaration of your asset. We need constitutional reform. We need term limits in Trinidad and Tobago and standardized date set for election. We shouldn't have people jumpy and skimpy and you're now scrambling for election. We should know that every year August 10th to September 14th is election, or the first Monday in September is election. We need to have these constitutional reforms.
We need to change. We want to know how much money you have to flow, because as soon as they get in, they want to buy yacht, boat, house, take care of wives and concubines, take care of boyfriends and girlfriends. We want to know. We should have an election for prosecutioners in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't want no old police who ain't know no law, he ain't know anything, but he's a prosecutor. We should have election. We should vote teachers. We should vote for teachers
into politics. And if they notice there's a certain amount of money, they need to give accountability, say whether they got those funds from. Because it's happening every time, over and over again, and it's just the same thing. And such a lies and dishonest people in politics. It's time they go. And if they notice there's a certain amount of money, they need to give accountability, say whether they got those funds from.
Caller, mute your mic on your end.
Yes, caller, mute your phone. Yes, Anne-Marie Arthur, please lower your phone. Mute your line. Go ahead. Well, that was Anne-Marie Arthur. What a wonderful contribution. That was our first call. She rushed and called because she wants us to stay on the live. She's the one who asked me, well, you're going. Well, tonight, we are so glad that we have Will and Ivan now saying Trinbagonians need to have real representation and real change with God-fearing leaders. Amen. Because a lot of them treating us as if they are gods. That's why.
That's what it is.
They are their own gods. Well, you know what? My people perish as it is written, thus saith the Lord, for the lack of knowledge. It is
bring back Alan John question. Mama Coco, Alan John is saying that Labre coming to show the people something the GE in the general election this time around. Mark my word, they're going to do what Mama Coco feels he should do. Do you know my cousin is going up, right? To be another member of parliament for for Labre. That is why I'm pumping Labre so much, because he is honest. He is honest, open, and transparent. And when you look at the man and what he is doing, he's not telling you what he's going to do. He's asking you, what do you want me to do for your constituency? He said he's not going to be a leader who's going to push this and push that. He said, I will work for you because you employ me. That is the leaders we want in this country. And I can see Labre going yellow.
Hey, monopolizing the people in the areas. Yeah, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. You understand me? We ain't perish for the lack of money. The Bible didn't say that. We ain't perish for the lack of sex. The Bible didn't say that. We didn't perish because we have a big nose or we ugly. We didn't perish for the lack of
knowledge.
And this is what this show is imparting. So you know why they ain't gonna like this show? Because this show have knowledge. This show bringing knowledgeable people. This show bringing people like you, Brother Dexter Roberts and Sister Allie G. This show is bringing people with a passion, with the knowledge that we imparting to make people into the people that Trinidad and Tobago should be. We want them to listen. We want them to learn. We want them to practice what they preach. We don't want to hear preachers who don't practice.
Amen.
Yes. This show is avoiding pecan. This show is avoiding lasciviousness. Yes, this show is avoiding anything that is not becoming in the eyes of Almighty God, Jehovah. None of you are afraid to lose your job or contact. We're not afraid. We believe that because we speak, we will always be able to get a job. Because the government will do it right. We will have money. That's why we're talking. We're talking to save the people. We're talking to save SOS. We're talking to save our souls and save the souls of the young people. We want to leave a legacy.
Mama Coco, Ezekiel 28:32 declares, I sought for a man who will stand in the gap and build the hedge, and I found none except Jeremiah and Baruch. I sought for a man. So God is saying, I sought for a man who will stand in the hedge and build the hedges. And this time around, we are seeking people who will represent the people of Trinidad and Tobago with integrity, with honesty, with decency, they will come up with respect.
With tolerance.
People and production.
The politicians in the world now, their skin too thin. The sebaceous gland need to be oiled. They need to get the oil flowing on the outward part. So people who jumping on and them could slide off. You don't have to answer and fire back. With police commissioners argue too much. You have to make ends meet with just argument. That doesn't work. So tonight, my brothers and sisters, I know you guys don't want us to go. I don't want to go too. But we want people to go back. So here I have these two people. So I'm going to ask Sister Allie G, are you going to come back so we can finish up this topic?
Mama Coco just call me. I'll be here.
Brother Dexter.
I will come. And Alan John said he vexed he not in tonight. He said he wants to be a part of this entourage.
Very true, Julian.
Alan John.
Yes.
You know Mama Coco. He said he's one of the most favorite. He's my favorite fan. And he goes, well, Alan ghosted out. You hear me? Or ghost out on Saturday. He didn't make an appearance. But he telling me today that he was waiting on us. You know, once you get the link, you have to find yourself.
Oh my goodness. I'm recently
on the brink. Alan, say something to Alan. Next time, if you're not coming on the show, you have to send and say why.
Well, it's protocol that if you are, well, Mama Coco, it's protocol if someone's supposed to be on your show and they are unable to come on, they should notify you at least 30 minutes to an hour before the show starts. So therefore, you would know if you need to have a replacement or how to gather yourself. So, Alan, you need to make up that. Send Mama Coco some rose. Send Mama Coco some rose and make up that.
The so-called leader don't even listen to the people. They don't empower, educate, or educate the people. Look at the way they behave in Parliament. Very right, Roland. Very, very right. Very right. I cannot agree with you anymore. Yeah. I do not agree with mixing religion and politics together.
Ravi G. Hey, Ravi. You know, all of your churches and all of your temple and all of your tabernacles, they tell the people in the church how to vote. So you ain't come with me with that. Don't roll up on me. Don't roll up on me with that, Ravi. All churches, they talk to their members. If you check out some churches, everybody's paying them in that church.
Mama Coco, how do you think Barack Obama really won this election when he won the first time? The churches, because they had early voting in some states, the churches, especially the black churches, they sent their members to go and vote. That's how Barack won the election, because people, when he won the thing, the churches sent their people out to vote. When you look at America, America was built on religion. It was built on religion, and now they no longer want to deal with religion.
In God we trust. In God we trust on the money.
Mm-hmm.
In God we trust. Who God? What God? Where is the God? Which one?
The money God.
In God we trust. Every time you're swearing in a politician that to grab a Bible, only Sister Kamala that gets you Gita. Don't rush me with them kind of
and Nizam Muhammad had brought his Quran.
He bring the Quran. So
yes.
What do you want to tell me? What you guys want to tell me? Every time some politicians going up to keep a meeting, somebody had to open with a word of prayer. How come church out? Churches don't pay taxes, and they make the most money in our country.
Dexter, call mom.
Ravi, I love you, Ravi. I know Ravi. I love Ravi, but darling,
hi, ma.
Church is in everything. Politics is in everything. You hear America talk about separation of church and state. Who put Donald Trump in power?
The churches. The first people who pledge allegiance to Donald Trump was the Evangelical Association pledge allegiance to support Trump.
So why Billy Graham and them so tight with the politician?
Paula White is a big girl with him. She's on Trump administrative team giving him godly counsel. I don't know what counsel is that.
Ravi say I love you too, Mama Coco. He love you.
Because that is all we do and say. Leaving the church out of making all this money in tithes and offering, and now we have COVID, the church and them sitting down. Now crime take over Port of Spain.
No, the church telling you to send your money to WhatsApp and Cash App. The church telling you how to send your money to Cash App. Now they say, yeah, if you ain't come, send it to Cash App.
Allie G, have you ever thought of representing San Fernando East? Jillian, I was told when I was with Pep, I was told by people from San Fernando East that if I ran, that they would support me. A lot of people, because that's where I'm from. But I never really gave it a thought, because I know that if you have to run for politics in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to give up your U.S. citizenship. And at this time, since I have a minor child, I am not ready to do that. I mean, keeping it real, I have a young son.
Just like me, I feel the same way. I really and truly, I wanted to run home and fight for a seat. But I think there should be, this is why we need constitutional reform. Even though I have a U.S. citizenship, it shouldn't define me or debar me from being a part representing my country, because I'm still a Trinidadian. On my citizenship say citizenship, but country of both Trinidad and Tobago. I should have no hindrance. And if my country, I cannot trade my little bread and butter, my little half bread and butter for no bread and butter in Trinidad. I can't do that. Sorry, but I'm willing, as you, Allie, to make a contribution to the country. And that is why we need constitutional reform.
Need it. I mean, I will not be against operating in an advisor capacity, because you know, my thing is this: some people will get into politics to eat a food. I love being of service. Remember a long time when people ask someone else, what do you do? They'll say, I'm a public servant. Now people don't say that anymore because nobody's a servant. Everybody's a rock star, right? People tell other people, we yourself off the government and all these sorts of nonsense. And they tell people all they want is handouts, but all the friends getting the handouts that making them millionaires. If I ever serve Trinidad and Tobago in any political capacity, oh God, Mama Coco. Listen, I even resurrecting the dead to put them in jail. That's how bad it will get. Because enough is enough. Too many people are suffering and dying because of corruption. And we know it is happening HDC, up to now, HDC cannot tell you how they determine how someone gets a house. You cannot tell me it's a lottery. There has to be a systematic way of deciding who gets a house. Somebody filed 25 years ago. They're ready to go to the grave. They still ain't get a house. Somebody who pants tighter than mine and had two pegs in front and two behind get a house in 2 weeks. They apply. Come on.
Allie, if you live in Lavantel, and you want to go to Shogunas to win, you can get a house because they want to get that Shogunas E seat, so they'll put you there. And if you're living in Shogunas and they have a house in San Juan, and you could go up in San Juan, Barataria, in St. Joseph area to vote, you will get a house because they want to vote apart. That is how we get in houses. Last election, they gave houses and they're going crazy. They shift people like they're going crazy because they will vote apart in, and that is how they do it.
So, Ali G, there's a question here for you.
Well, actually, it's a statement. It's the registered voters must be 18 years old and over, must reside in an electoral district / constituency for at least 2 months prior to a qualifying date to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago or a Commonwealth residing legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a period of at least 1 day. If you read that, you will see there's a lot of problems. Number one, all the people who have traveled abroad, even if they're allowed to come back into the country, they won't be able to vote as long as they spend more than 2 months out of the country.
Not true, honey. Not true. That is allow them to vote. The PNM will not do anything to them.
Dexter, I was taken off the voters list because I was not in Trinidad and Tobago for at least 2 months, Dexter. I know what I'm telling you.
I'm still on the list.
Well, Dexter, are you going to vote PNM?
No.
You slipped through. You slipped through, Dexter, because if they know that and they know you're not voting PNM, they'll take you off the electoral voting list. I'm telling you what happened to me, and a lot of people are complaining about that. They take people off the list, so the people who get to come back home, Mama Coco, if they check, if they're only going there with their passport or they figure that these people are coming, they will ask them for the passport and then take them off the list. You see, the 2 months, it's part of the law. It's not what I say. You have to be there for 2 months prior to election. Must reside for at least 2 months prior to the qualifying date. So all these people who've been outside for 4 and 6 months, let's see what happening there. They can take them off the list. If you're a citizen, why?
Explain the last part, Ali.
So the last part, Commonwealth citizen. Commonwealth citizen residing legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a period of at least 1 year. So you don't have to be. It is not, voting in Trinidad and Tobago is not restricted to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Commonwealth citizen. I know a lot of people didn't know that.
So they could get people who from around to come in and stay a certain amount of time and they will be able to vote.
That's right. And Mama Coco, I am reading on the internet, not here, but before, someone was saying that, oh my goodness, what were they saying? They were saying something about the voting, that they were being trained to work for polling on election date, and they were being told that the people don't have to show up with ID cards.
So the Venezuelan that there for the Venezuelan that there for more than a year now.
Well, are they part of the Commonwealth? Is Venezuela part of the Commonwealth? But then who is going to check if you don't have to walk with ID card?
They're not part of the Commonwealth, but
Well, Ali G, and when you go to vote, there's also a duplicate of your ID card application on file when you go to vote, you know.
We would hope so, Dexter.
Would hope so.
We would
Guys,
Mama Coco, do you know if the Grenadians, huh?
1 minute. Ali G, Guyana is the Commonwealth.
Okay. So then, and this is why we understand. Remember back in the day when Dr. Eric Williams brought our Grenadian grandparents and stuff like that, and they said that they padded votes?
So what you saying?
The PNM could have never won an election. So when Dr. Eric Williams won the elections in 1956, it was more or less given to him based on the fact that he had a new idea, a new vision, a new leader, etc., right? The East Indian people always had a base. So when Eric Williams realized that... when Eric Williams realized that he didn't have a proper base to win an election, he decided to bring Vincentians and the Grenadians and them and put them in Laventille to help build that. But had those people never came to Trinidad, the PNM would have never seen the dawn of office because the East Indian always had a base.
And look, Gloria Belfon is saying that is true. I was taken off the list. And then Cedra Lewis Bayard is saying that is true. You have to be there for 2 months. That is why I have not been able to vote for all these years. Because really, if you live out here, right? Let us really dissect this thing about citizenship. If you live out here and you know it's election, you go maybe a week or two ahead of that because jobs up here don't give you more than 2 or 3 weeks at a time to travel. So then if you have to have 2 months in the country, you get eliminated right there, right? And Nicola is asking why we don't like the PNM party. Nicola is...
them.
We're not going to answer me. We're not... Listen. We're not going to answer Nicola right now. I want you guys to know that Port of Spain and Laventille was Indian strongholds,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Indian owned Port of Spain before the Syrians take it over. Yes.
Yes. Laventille were Indian strongholds. That's why Indian would have won the election if PNM didn't get help. So PNM always doing something under the damn bridge. So for the people to come now, so that's why Eric couldn't bring him all them Grenadians and Tobagonians to vote. You understand me? Or else the Indians would have won.
But you see, Mama Coco and Dexter, the truth of the matter is, unlike America, when you go to school, they teach you about the Constitution. We have Trinbagonians who don't know nothing about the laws and the books. They don't know. So when somebody don't know nothing and take a pulley wool over their eyes,
they did the Trinidad history.
But they will never do that. They just like how Eric Williams wrote a book and got worldwide acclaim. I think it was from colonialism to slavery to colonialism and the effect it had on the inhabitants, and turn around and ban his own book in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you understand that? I write a book that explains the effects of slavery and colonialism on the inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago. And I turn around and ban my own books in my country because I don't want the people to get the knowledge.
So sad.
Likewise, I will not teach my people their rights and responsibilities as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So then when I come in the dance, whatever I say, I call the shot. I need them ignorant. I need them to wear a jersey.
Look what Nicola saying here. Only answer Nicola for me.
Why do you want to vote if you are living outside of the country? Because I am a citizen, Nicola. Nicola, let me explain something, what citizenship means. And this is why, it's wonderful that you are living in the United States of America and benefiting everything that the United States of America has to give, because laws were put into place so that people like you and I can come here and get the opportunities that we did not get in our country. So when we come out into countries like Trinidad, into places like America and first world countries, an American can vote anywhere in the world because nowhere are they disenfranchised. Trinidad claims to respect dual citizenship, but yet to take away the right from your citizens to vote if they're not there for 2 months. What are we saying? What are we saying, Nicola? Are you saying that your education that you gain in here should not be used in your country? Because that is in effect what is being done when they say that you cannot vote if you're not there for 2 months. You're a citizen. Did you rescind your citizenship, Nicola? I didn't. I didn't give up mine. I have cocoa in the sun, so I have to look out for sun. I have cocoa in the sun, so I have to look out for rain. That is why I should be able to vote in that country.
Because you sending all your money you want to take
Of
care
course.
of your and friends.
My money spent there. But Mama Coco, again, this is to show you. But Nicola did nursing. She didn't do public administration to understand the role of government and the role of in the lives of people and all these types of things. So I understand why she would ask this question, because she does not understand. So I am here to help you, Nicola, to understand what citizenship is about and the role of government. And when someone is a citizen and they tell you that you cannot vote, you have been disenfranchised. And that is a serious thing, because the primary goal of citizenship, or the primary right of a citizen, is the ability to vote. That is why Americans can vote anywhere. And Nicola, I would advise you to pick up any book about government, its role and responsibilities, and just edify yourself. It's good to be a nurse, but you need to be able to tell that to your friends too, because a lot of other people may not also know why they should be able to vote if they have dual citizenship. It's either Trinidad and Tobago recognizes dual citizenship in its full capacity, or they don't. Stop playing games.
You know, if you die in America here and they want to take your dead body home, you have to prove that you're a citizen. You have to prove that you're born there. You can't just say, I love Trinidad, I'm going to bury in Trinidad, you know. You have to go through immigration, have to pass you. The United States Embassy have to deal with you, fix you, and then send your body down. They don't take people. A woman married, husband get stuff, and he died and she couldn't bury him in Trinidad.
You know, that's so ironic, Mama Coco.
And something what I want you guys to ask my cousin Nicola, why you up here and rooting for PNU?
Nicola, coming on the line.
Nicola, call us. We're going overtime just for you, Nicola. Call us. Let us have a live chat. Because it seems as though, you know, she said, I was told by the Trinidad consulate that I am automatically a dual citizen. Nicola, hear what I'm saying. No, listen, you are automatically a dual citizen, but here's the problem with that, Nicola. Here's the problem. Here's the contradiction. You are being told that you're an automatic dual citizen, but you are asking me, an automatic dual citizen, as a matter of fact, a woman in 3 citizenships, why I want to vote in Trinidad and Tobago. So you're kind of defeating your purpose by asking a question, Nicola. You have to understand. Gloria Belfon is in simple political science class if Nicola went to school in the US. Yes, she's here, Gloria. That's why I'm just, directing her there, because if she don't know, she don't know. And I'm not knocking her for it, but I am trying to edify her, because I want, if Nicola has this conversation with some of her friends, that she can walk in there with authority and tell them this is what's happening, and this is this, and that is that. That is what this show is about, educating and uplifting each other. So Nicola, even though this is the point, and this is the hypocrisy of the Trinidad and Tobago policy when it comes to dual citizenship. You claim that you recognize dual citizenship, so why are we not able to vote? Why are the people who are stranded out here, through no fault of their own, why can't they go to a consulate and vote? Why are they being disenfranchised? Okay, why? So what do we have the consulates for? As a matter of fact, I had to school the consulate when I went for my passport, because they don't even know their job. Half of them is just political appointees with no knowledge of their job. And what I deal with immigration and stuff in my job, so I have a little, more knowledge than them and things. So I had to kind of school them, because they don't know what they're doing. Because somebody, nana, cousin, and then honor man, child, father, cousin, that's how they get a job. So let's, I am the wrong one to talk about immigration and
Allie G, you know that's so ironic.
What is that, honey?
If you go home and you spend the 2 months that you require to spend in Trinidad in order to vote, right? To get in on the list. Do you know that even though you have dual citizenship and you go to NHE, you cannot get a house? If you go there, you cannot get a pension. If you go there, you cannot get public assistance. They tell you have to wait 7 years in that country before you go, but I can spend 2 months to vote for you? That is crazy. That is ludicrous.
Listen.
The playing field should be level. The playing field should be level.
This one from Dexter, who huge. Dexter, they say what? 2 months and you could vote to give them a job. But
yes,
you want your pension.
or the NHA house. If you want a house from NHA and you apply, like, okay, so Alice, like you applied for your house 25 years ago. If them call you now and you doesn't have the little money to grease the wheel and to roll the tire right, all right, you're not gonna get it. They'll tell you that you're not even here. But if you can get that house, you have to spend 7 years. Because I had a big issue with them. I had my application in, and some fast buddy gonna say I live in America, and them say, well, I can't get in the house. I said, well, I have dual citizenship. Well, darling, I felt up my passport to show them that have nothing to do. So we are double standard. That dual citizenship shit is double standard. I can come and flick and vote for you in 2 months, but I have to wait 7 years for a house. Tell me the math. I come to Obama again. Tell me the math. I don't understand it.
Okay, so Nicola is asking, if you're a citizen, why can't you vote? You cannot vote, Nicola, if you are not there for 2 months prior to the election, right? So you can't just jump on a plane. Let's say the borders are open. Let's imagine the borders are open.
Ali, let me leave Nicola out of this. Nicola love computer. She could look up anything she want and get it. We are just keeping this live just to get into thing with my cousin Nicola. Read this question, Ali G.
No person shall be qualified to be elected as a member of the House of Representatives who is a citizen of a country other than Trinidad and Tobago, having become a citizen voluntarily, such a citizen voluntarily, or is under a declaration of allegiance to such a country. So what that means is, like how I became a US citizen and I had to naturalize, right? You swear allegiance when you become a citizen of the United States to America. I cannot go and run for a seat in Trinidad and Tobago. If I became a US citizen, let's say my mother was a US citizen, and as a child, she I attained citizenship through her, because you can attain citizenship, then I could have run for a seat in Trinidad and Tobago because I did not swear allegiance. I derived my citizenship through my mother. So I hope that is clear. So you see, there's so much that people, and we need to do citizenship classes, sociology classes. We need to do, all these different things. Know your constitution. There are still laws on the books that need to be thrown out. As a matter of fact, when a minister comes into power, into his ministry, the first thing a minister should do is call all the heads of his ministries and say, bring all these policies that we have and let me review them, because they still have laws on the books talking about horse carriages. When last all see a horse carriage in Trinidad and Tobago?
Hey, Ali G, girl, look something here. See if you could enlighten people where to find this and find the election and boundaries.
Okay. So for those interested in knowing more about TNT's electoral process, please check out https://www.ebctt.com/fax/ So it's on internet. It's so much. Listen, the internet is for much more than Snapchat and Facebook and selfies.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. And finding husband and thing. I'm not knocking finding the husband. That works. But but use it to edify yourself, because the truth is that we need to know. So that when these people come for election, we can ask them about this, change this.
Nicola talking to his cousin Cora. Nicola, I know you're making confusion, but the distraction is a little bit too much. You understand me? You could look it up. Nicola, you bright like bulb. You could look up anything you want. Let me keep this here real. And then you're confusing other people with the misdirection. 1 minute you want to know why we like PNM, and 1 minute we ain't like PNM, we ain't hate PNM. We're talking about what PNM should have done better and could do better, but they don't need another 5 years, and they didn't show any production for the last 5 years. That's all.